I covered a story this morning regarding a Mohammed Lido. He's been charged with manslaughter for raping an unconscious mother of three and NHS worker to death on a park bench. Now, I mentioned in that video how our mainstream doesn't like to acknowledge these things. They want to pretend they're just horrible events that just randomly happen. But I mooted the idea that we should start remembering these poor victims as the victims of mass immigration. And those senses, that doesn't mean I think everybody who's come here is bad or people from certain groups are innately bad. What it does mean is that the mainstream liberal regime has a policy of bringing people here from the third world en masse against the will of the people. We've warned many times we don't know who these people are. Things are getting worse on the streets, more dangerous and more violent. And when we notice things are getting worse, we're called stupid, evil and racist. As Labour MPs retweet, we should keep our mouths shut for the good of diversity. And we're supposed to forget these victims of these terrible crimes straight away. If it's an especially bad crime, you might be allowed to sing Don't Look Back in Anger, but make sure you shut up and don't think about it again after that. I also said in the video earlier that we're getting used to these terrible stories on a weekly basis, yet today I couldn't even make it 24 hours. That's because a woman has been sentenced in Northern Ireland after stabbing a social worker. A 25-year-old woman who was pretending to be 14, by the way, called Fiore Kasete, originally from Eritrea, attacked the victim without warning, stabbing her in the arms and head. Now, I have to say this, but of course I'm aware that crimes have always been committed by the natives in the UK, but the point is we're noticing that the scale, the rate and the savagery of some of the crimes of recent years have outdone anything we've previously seen. To compound matters, it seems our mainstream isn't so concerned by these things. They're constantly worried about the supposed far right. Now, I know the riots were a problem a few months ago, but to my knowledge, they weren't killing any children. They weren't raping people on park benches or randomly attacking people with knives. To a modern-day liberal, even me making these videos is a sign I lack some basic empathy or tolerance. Well, if tolerating some of the things I've shown you in this video means I'm intolerant, then I am intolerant. Anyhow, I think I'm going to keep this phrase victims of mass immigration, and that's because it highlights that this has been a deliberate policy from our political elite. A political elite that refuses to take responsibility for its own actions and seems totally committed to its utopian worldview while ignoring what's really going on the streets now. These are just my thoughts, however. Do let me know what you think down below. Do consider subscribing to the channel.